Hi Gregor, how's it going?
I'm very well, Andy. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Well, your squad's out, and as always, there's always plenty of talking points with your Scotland squad. Cameron Redpath caught a few of us by surprise, given that previously it looked like he would be pledging his allegiance to England. How's this situation come about that you're able to name him in your squad?
Yeah, Cam obviously it was his decision, and we've spoken to Cam for a while, and we did offer him the opportunity to come on board with us in autumn. He didn't feel it was the right time to commit to either country, but he's now in a position where he's made that decision, and we're delighted. He is already an excellent player. And we have high hopes for what he can do within our squad and at that next level of playing international rugby.
He's obviously still a young player. You're satisfied that he is committed to Scotland. Obviously, he won't be tied to Scotland until he plays, but were England to come calling again, you're confident he's going to be with you guys now?
Yes, I think making that decision now and saying yes to us and being in the squad and looking forward to coming into our camp on Sunday night. We see him very much part of our Six Nations campaign. So he's played really well for Bath this year and has played regular game time, which has been a key factor in his development. He probably wasn't getting that many games, partly because of injury a couple of years ago and selection at Sale, but he regularly featured for Bath and played really well.
Stuart McInally misses out, Gregor, and it's obviously a bad blow with Fraser Brown also being absent. What is the length of time is Stuart out for the championship, the first game? What can you tell us on his injury?
Yes, it's likely he'll miss the whole of the championship, which is obviously a blow on the back of Fraser's injury, which could take him out of the whole championship too. But it's an opportunity for the other hookers in the squad. We've named 4 in the squad. George Turner's been a part of our last few campaigns, played really well for us in autumn. And Dave Cherry, Grant Stewart and Ewan Ashman have all been in and to train with us. Only Grant Stewart has played for us. So it's an opportunity for them where we hope that both Fraser and Stewart's rehab and recovery goes really well and they're able to come back at some stage later this season, but it's unlikely we'll see them for the Six Nations.
Thanks, Gregor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Over to Ivana.
Sorry. Cheers, Matt. Hi, Gregor. Hope you're keeping well. Gregor, I just want to go on to the tournament in itself in terms of what happens with everything that's happening surrounding COVID relations, restrictions as well. Do you think, firstly, it's responsible for the tournament to go ahead, or do you feel like rugby's needed at this time to lift people's spirits? I mean, the fact that 4 of the nations that are going to be playing, their population is in lockdown in one way or another. And if you could explain maybe some of the instructions as a squad that you've been given about how you're going to travel, for your games and what kind of bubble, because it's a significant size of people. You're talking, 50 people maybe?
Yeah, I'll answer the first question first. I think watching sport can lift people at this time. We certainly got lots of positive messages from Scots when we won down in Llanelli during the autumn. And I know, like everybody else, during lockdown, to be able to watch your team, whether it's football, rugby, or another sport, has been a welcome distraction and positive and a really challenging time. We have a massive responsibility to make sure that we, first of all, play well and do our country proud, but make sure that we keep the virus out of our environment. And there'll be lots of protocols and restrictions that we'll have to follow, like we did in autumn. We were together for, I think, 8 weeks. We'll have to test even more regularly. I think we're now going from once a week testing to twice a week testing. and that's something the tournament have insisted on, and that'll be something whenever we travel we'll have to test within I think it's within 72 hours of the game. Our players are getting used to it. Our players have played all the way through since August for their clubs, and obviously during the autumn campaign. And we've got a really good setup at Oriam where we can be in, let's call it a bubble, but in an area where we're going to be the only people in the hotel. Our training facilities 200 yards away, and our players know how important it is that we follow all the protocols when we're in camp and when we're out of camp, because players will be going back to play for the clubs during this period too.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I was kind of wondering about self-isolating afterwards. And is there also a financial pressure in regards that the Six Nations brings so much, not only to the host nation when the game's at home for them, but also in terms of, we know that the CVC deal is coming through. Does it feel like you're bound, or, you know, as a head coach, would you just feel such incredible disappointment of all of your hard work ends up for naught if games go off again, if the Six Nations gets postponed again during this period, because we are arguably in a worse situation than we were in March 2020?
Yeah, well, we'd be really disappointed if we don't get the opportunity to play, but it looks like everything's in place for that to happen. Now things can change, we understand that, but we're a few days away from when we get the players into camp, and then we'll be into 2 weeks before we play England. But there has certainly been a lot of movement and meetings and discussions over the last 2 or 3 weeks to make sure the tournament goes ahead, and that it's safe, and that these enhanced protocols are in place to make sure that the tournament doesn't get cancelled at any point during the 7-8 weeks we're together.